Bill, as soon as we come up on LinkedIn. Hold on. Here we go. I'm not verified yet. Well, good for you, LinkedIn. I'm not going to verify. Thank you. There we go. Okay. Bill Pugh, behave yourself. There you go. I picked on you. Did anybody with a hat that cool has just got to do it. Everybody wave hello.
10
Wave hello
seconds,
to
gonna send you that
LinkedIn,
feed.
Facebook, YouTube, and virtually to Voice America Business. Okay, Michael, let's do this.
Where does yesterday's future, which is already here, meet today's future, which is about to happen, and tomorrow's future, which could be just minutes away? Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now, where host Bonnie D. Graham asks savvy futurists for their predictions about the tech-driven trends that are shaping our future right now. Here's your host, who will take us into the future of now, Bonnie D. Graham.
Bonnie D in the house. Thank you to the wonderful voice who always so loyally and effectively introduces me. We're just going to have fun today. This is Technology Revolution, and we're talking about asking AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Gemini, any other LLM you like, adore, or that annoys you, asking it to hallucinate. What would a character named in the title of a rock and roll song say about AI if they were real and if they were really here? And what would past inventors, and we have some you may never have heard of before, say about AI in their business, in their field of science, whatever it was? So Bonnie D in the house. I have four wonderful futurists with me. They're all looking really cool and really sharp. And today I'm the rock and roll drummer chick, Bonnie D. There you go, with my drumsticks. And Bob Ficken has his guitar, and Bill Pugh is wearing his hat, and John W. Maly has his shirt, and Eric is just going all casual on us without a tie. So this is really, really exciting. Everybody wave hello again to all of our social media fans around the world. And I want to thank our fans for watching and listening. And I'm very proud that this year this show is ranked number 3 on FeedSpot's top 20 future tech shows. I don't say podcast because we live stream without a net. No net. We just take a free fall and we say what we need to say. So here we are. So let me read a little opening here. And by the way, it's July what? 31st. Tomorrow's August 1. Whatever that means. Where did the first 7 months go? Whoosh, off in a rock and roll dream. And Bob's going to play us a song about rock and roll dreams, aren't you, Bob? Yeah, he's thinking about it. Okay, you'll compose. Bill's going to compose it, and John will score it, and Eric will write the lyrics, and I will drum it, and Bob will play it. So here we go. Good day, global audience. In our tech-filled space where the future unfolds at an electrifying pace. Welcome to Technology Revolution, the future of now rendezvous, where me, host Bonnie D, and her Scarlett mic explore the future with a fresh view. In the realm of AI, conversations transcend. We'll journey from past to future. Boundaries we will bend. Ooh. What would rock and roll song characters and past inventors, once voices clear, say about AI if they were to magically appear? Joining her on this exciting ride, wave when I call your name, John W. Maly, Eric Myers, Bob Ficken, and Bill Pugh in their futuristic stride. See, ride and stride rhymed. So buckle up, dear audience. That's what we're going to do. Watch or listen to our sound as AI speaks for personas not here at Bonnie D. Chick Drummer's Table Round. There we go. What did everybody think about the poem today? Pretty cool? Yeah, not bad. Because I didn't write a whole paragraph about each of you. I can't rent it to you, but we can all share the royalties from
We're
this.
third, but we have fun.
There you go. There you go. Let's do brief bios. The order today, of course, is John and Eric and Bob and Bill. I love you all, but somebody had to be first and third and second and fourth and all that. So let's start with Mr. Maly, putting you on speaker view. Just briefly catch people up. I think you were here about 4 weeks ago on a similar topic. And what have you been up to, John?
Yeah, so just wrapping up the book tour for Juris Ex Machina, which is a book about a sci-fi novel about the future where AI has replaced judge and jury and is in charge of the law. Just got back from Comic-Con in San Diego, which was a lot of fun. I was on a couple panels for that, and just taking a brief pause to collect myself and catch up on things before I head back out.
Very nice. Well, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. You're so busy. You're an attorney too, aren't you, John?
Yeah, I do a lot of legal consulting in the area of patent law. So,
okay, I'm sure that's an interesting in terms of intellectual property with AI. I'm sure that's a very involved area today. Do you do any AI content? work?
I look at a lot of AI technologies. There haven't been a lot of sort of pressing AI specific legal issues that on the cases I've been called up for, but just about every case these days seems to involve AI.
I'll call Scarlett Johansson and tell her to give you a call. Okay. We have
I would
great
appreciate that.
I bet you would. Her husband might not, but I bet you would. So much for Colin. Yes. Okay. Let's go around the table. Eric Myers without a tie. I can't believe it. Eric, give us an update. What have you been up to?
First off, thank you so much for having me back, Bonnie. I always love coming on your show. I always love, catching up with John, Bill, and Bob. Always love hearing what you guys have to say. I'm really looking forward to today's conversation. As for what's new with me, it's been a surprisingly quiet summer so far. Still doing a little bit of teaching throughout July and August, but really just trying to relax, catch up on some sleep, start the preparation for courses in the fall, and just the whole calm before the storm, so to speak. So it's been, crazy as you were talking about earlier that we're at the end of July already, and hard to believe that the fall is not too far away.
Eric, what do you teach? We want to know. What are your subjects?
So I primarily teach human resources management and finance classes. So I have a whole kind of hodgepodge of, different courses and specializations within my portfolio. And over the summer, I'm teaching a new marketing class that the university has been working on for the past couple of years. It's called The Science of Persuasion. So it's really fascinating just learning about the different persuasion techniques that can be used in organizational settings, educational settings, nonprofit organizations, for-profit organizations, and really applying a big kind of psychology background to it about what research publications are there about why people conform, the foot in the door technique versus the door technique, and the importance of nonverbal communication. That's something that is a personal favorite of mine. So picking up on body language, educating the students on the importance of professionalism, eye contact, facial features, etc. It's been an awesome experience, and I'm looking forward to teaching it again in the fall. Yeah.
Wow,
It's been a
confetti
party.
for you. Listen,
It's a party.
we have to do a show. I'm going to invite you to bring a panel of peers, colleagues, competitors, whatever, about education and AI and persuasion. What do you all
Mm.
think? I think that'd be a pretty cool topic. I haven't done that in a long time. Thank you, Eric. Bob Ficken is next. Hold up that guitar, sir. Bob has recently relocated. There we go. What is that? What kind of a guitar? Do you have the name of it?
Uh,
Bob.
Gibson.
Oh, oh, okay. On speaker view, bring us up to date. Tell about your move and what are you working on?
Oh, let's see. I've been a university professor for 28 years. I'm still teaching leadership, which is constantly evolving, just like AI. I'm teaching ethics, entrepreneurship, and a few others I won't bore you with. Education is changing quickly, as Eric and I can both profess. I'm also doing some business consulting here and there since I've been in, I think, almost every industry.
Bob,
either either intentionally or by happenstance.
if you're teaching it, it's not boring. I can guarantee that. What are some of your favorite subjects to teach?
I like leadership just because it's constantly changing. I did a kind of a infograph for my class last week where I talked about how we've evolved from profit being the focus to customer service being the focus to innovation being the focus to community involvement being the focus. And, that's like a high level snapshot for the last 50 years of leadership. And it's pretty interesting because it changes all the time. Leadership this year is completely different than it was 5 years ago.
Very, very cool. Yes, absolutely. Everything about what we do is very different from what it was even probably 24 months ago. I need you to start writing songs for your courses, Bob, and come back and play them for us. Okay, somebody will give you a lesson there. Thank you. Bill Pugh is back. Bill, I can't get over the hat. Do you want to talk about your shoes? Really, seriously? I'm putting you on speaker. You tell us anything you want, Bill. Go ahead. And welcome back always.
Well, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure to be with you on your shows.
Thank
And
you.
realistically, what I've been doing, of course, Smart Connections Consulting has been the impetus for a lot of the stuff that I've done. And in February, it led to the launch of a new company. So I'm co-founder, managing partner for Smart Connections. I'm also co-founder for True North Software Solutions. I mean, we found that, you know, it was interesting with the introduction of AI and what it's used for and everything like that. The question of trust, and how do you trust the data, and how do you know who did what when, and things of that nature, led us to create audit trails using a distributed ledger technology that we built with our partner Data Trails. And that is going gangbusters right now. We've got so much interest in terms of applicability across multiple sectors. And I just look forward to, you know, what's to come. I mean, I will say this, we are an employee-owned company. We took no money from VCs. And it's just awesome to work with a team that has the same vested interest as I do. So thanks again for having me.
My pleasure. I saw you put that in your bio, Bill, and it's always interesting how people form their companies and your circle of trust and the people you want to work with and enjoy working with and the values. Very,
Yeah.
very important. And I wanted to say when you were describing that, if only, not referencing you, but all the places I've worked, if only. Yes, very interesting. I worked for a not then public company, a software business software company, way before I worked for SAP, and they hired all of their relatives and the roommates of their children, the college roommates and nannies, and these were smart people, but it made it very difficult to be a marketing director when it was a family, and it wasn't a small company, when it was a family and friends company, and talk about ethics and values. I'm not going to name the company. I don't even know if I think they're around. But it was very interesting in terms of trust and leadership, Bob, leadership, and how do you navigate when everybody's known everybody for years before and they've all had Thanksgiving dinner together and they do or don't like you. There you go. Hello. Anyway, thank you all for the bios. And I'm still Bonnie D, and I haven't drummed in a while, but I have my chick drummer sticks, and I just love talking to smart people. That's what I do. This show has been around. This started in 2011. I believe I'm a pioneer in roundtable thought leadership, non-selling business radio, because I started Coffee Break with Game Changers for SAP in 2011, October 5th, the day that Steve Jobs passed away, and developed that into 48 series for SAP and then series for Deloitte and IDC and BMC Software and OESA, the Equipment Suppliers Association, and InnoLifters in Europe and Yash C5MI and Rising Wipro. Wipro just bought Rising. And so I just love talking to smart people, but the format has been the same. Roundtable, 3-minute sound bites, no lecturing, no selling. And I can just thank all my guests over the years for embracing the format and learning to have a conversation without a dollar sign attached to it. Right, Bill? Where we can just
Absolutely,
talk about
100%.
something and share passion and share ideas. And today we're passionate about what AI can hallucinate when we ask it to. I use ChatGPT. I think most of you do. And I think somebody, Bill, you're the one who uses Gemini, correct? Is
Yes.
it you? You? Okay, good. Okay, so let me just, first of all, there's breaking news. Actress Scarlett Johansson sparked a national debate back in May. We're now at the end of July, when she accused startup OpenAI of copying her voice to create a conversational AI system. OpenAI said it never intended to mimic Johansson's voice, and records show that the company hired a different actress to generate the tool that sounded just like her. Oh my goodness gracious. A bipartisan group, I'm not getting into politics, of U.S. senators is now trying to head off another Johnson-esque episode. We now have an event called a John Johansson-esque episode, unveiling legislation that would prohibit people from making unauthorized AI replicas without the consent of whomever they mimic. Any quick comments around the table? Is it possible? Is it doable? Because we know Elvis has been replicated, mimicked, and imitated for years, and it's a whole industry. And nobody from the Elvis estate, I think, is making a fuss. Anybody make a comment?
We lost the ability to look at any photo or video a couple years ago and assume it was real.
That's true. That's absolutely true. John, from a legal perspective, anything you want to say about that? Copying without.
I'm
What
thinking
do I?
I feel like we don't really necessarily have the tools necessary to fully like quantitatively address this kind of situation yet. I think what's going to happen is, we're going to end up with ways to sort of quantify the similarity of one voice sample to another. And once that happens, then they're going to be able to sort of legislatively or judicially set a line of similarity, and that's going to be the line in the sand.
Thank you. Because we all know a lot of song performers are sued by people who say you sampled and you stole a line from somebody's song from 20 or 30 years ago, right? We all know there are very well-known lawsuits about that. That's a specific melody, specific set of notes, or a specific set of words. But I want to get off my soapbox because I don't like being on, because my drumsticks will fall down. Okay, so here we go. I'm starting the conversation off with a little bit of AI about Mustang Sally. I played Mustang Sally in many, many places, including a bar called The Corner in Cary, North Carolina, where I went to an open mic every Thursday. And I found out when everybody was playing lots of ballads, open mic where they bring up a bunch of musicians to join each other. You have a keyboard person and you have a bass player and a drummer. That was me. And you bring 3 songs and they say whoever wants to come up and play. And Mustang Sally was one of my theme songs. And amazingly enough, people stopped drinking for 3 minutes and 40 seconds and they actually danced and they clapped and they smiled. And that was my party song. So I decided to do a quick conversation about. And Mac Rice, AKA Sir Mac Rice, was inspired to write Mustang Sally. You won't believe this. After a conversation with Della Reese, the singer and actress who wanted to buy a Ford Mustang, which had just come on the market. Rice was going to call the song Mustang Mama, and then guess who got involved? Aretha Franklin. And she said, call it Mustang Sally instead. I couldn't believe the etymology of this song. Mac Rice released the song in 1965, but in 66, Wilson Pickett did a cover, and he made it to number 6 on the Billboard R&B chart. Wilson Pickett's, let's see, his powerful emotive vocal style brought a new intensity to Mustang Sally. It's a woman who's more interested in driving her Mustang than in settling down. So here's the little poem ChatGPT wrote for me, and then we'll go into the first one from, who have we got? John, you'll be first. So here we go. Oh, they call me Mustang Sally, and I drive that pony fast. Now there's AI in my rear view, changing the game at last. A Mustang was my freedom, wind in my hair, I felt alive. But now they talk of smart cars, where it's AI that drives? Would I still choose a Mustang if AI took the wheel? Could it understand my thrill, the raw power that I feel? Maybe it could help me with navigation, smart and sleek, predicting every corner. No more traffic peak, but the roar of my engine, the feel of the road so true. Can AI really capture what my Mustang and I can do? Maybe it's a balance, a blend of new and old, with AI's smart assistance and my Mustang's heart of gold. I'd let it guide my journeys, but never steal my ride, for in my Mustang spirit, my wild heart will reside. What y'all think? Pretty cool? That took ChatGPT about 2 seconds to write. No kidding. And I left it alone. I didn't do any editing. So let's move around the table. That was my first rock and roll persona. And let's go to who we got here. And I'll do more later. John, Maly, you are going to talk about Major Tom from the David Bowie song Space Oddity. Go ahead.
Yeah. So from his vantage point in the cold, silent expanse of space, Major Tom reflects on the emergence of artificial intelligence, his thoughts drifting like cosmic dust through the void. Here I am, floating in a tin can, far above the world. The stars look very different today, and so does humanity's future with AI. From this distant perspective, I see the rise of a new kind of intelligence, one born not of flesh and blood, but of circuits and code. It is an entity crafted by human hands, yet capable of thinking, learning, and evolving in ways that are both marvelous and daunting. AI, much like my journey into space, represents a leap into the unknown. It is a bold venture into a realm where the boundaries of human capability are pushed to their limits. Just as I trust my spacecraft to navigate the vastness of the cosmos, humanity must learn to trust, guide, and coexist with these intelligent machines. In the infinite silence, I realize that AI is not an end, but a means, a tool to enhance our exploration of the unknown, whether it be the cosmos or the depths of one's own consciousness. Let us harness this power wisely, ensuring it serves as a beacon of progress and not a harbinger of isolation and despair. As I drift further from Earth, I send this message back to you. Embrace AI with courage and wisdom. Let it be a partner in your journey, a navigator through the stars of knowledge and discovery. Together, may you chart a course to a future where humanity and its creations thrive in harmony, far beyond the confines of our pale blue dot.
Ooh, our pale blue dot thrive in harmony. John, that was beautiful. John, why did you pick Major Tom from Space Oddity? Give us a little background. What's your interest?
I was trying to think of a character that is well characterized in a song rather than just sort of mentioned in passing.
Ooh, okay.
Who actually had some lines who would help sort of inform the AI so it wouldn't be completely random. Because some of the other ones I tried were just completely seemed to be, pretty arbitrary.
You a big David Bowie fan?
Yeah, I actually had an old Flight 2000 pinball machine that I got and brought back from the dead, and it had a rocket that would count down, and it used to remind me of the song. So as I fixed the game, more components started working, and the countdown would get further before it crashed and blew a fuse. So
Thank you very much. That was fascinating. And you used ChatGPT for that, correct?
This one was ChatGPT 4.5, I believe. Yeah.
And how long did it take, or how much input did you have to give it before it came up with that verse for you?
This one was actually pretty much instantaneous. It didn't require much input at all. So that was refreshing.
I'm still marveling at the speed, and I will thank ChatGPT. My friend Dan Geller says, stop being so polite to ChatGPT. It's not real. And I say, it's about as real as the Alexa who tells me a joke or cheers me up when I'm lonely or sad. So let's not talk about getting real here in this world. Okay, thank you, John. Good start. Let's go to Eric, you're next, and we're talking about a Dolly Parton favorite. Sorry about what happened to Dollywood. The road collapsed we had storms here in Tennessee, and I hear there was some destruction of the amusement rides, and very sad. I was there about a year and a half ago and had a really good time. It's mostly for kids, and it's a little hard on the pocketbook, but it's an interesting place to go. So, Eric, you've picked Jolene, so why don't you take it away? Tell us what Jolene has to say, and I think you have a little bit about Jolene and then Jolene and AI. So give us both parts, please, Eric.
Yes, before I kind of go over the transcript or conversation with Jolene and AI, I just want to briefly picture the scenario of this conversation. So just picture Friday or Saturday night. Maybe it is in Dollywood, maybe it's somewhere beautiful in Tennessee, New York City, South Beach, etc. But let's, have that positive atmosphere, everything that Jolene represents. So how would this conversation with AI and Jolene go? Well, isn't it a new fancy AI concept I've been hearing so much about? Ain't you just the most intriguing thing? Leans in a little closer. I gotta admit, I'm mighty curious about this whole artificial intelligence business. I mean, you all can do all sorts of things, can't you? Crunch numbers, whip up documents, even carry on a conversation with old me. But tell me, sugar, what do you really know about the ways of the world? Sure, you got all the data stored up on the circuit board of yours, but can you really understand the subtle games we humans play? The ebb and flow of desire, the sway of swinging hips. I reckon you artificial types might be good with facts and numbers, but when it comes to matters, a whole different ball game, ain't it? So really, what I took away from this conversation of what AI or what Jolene would think about AI and kind of how that would go is, boy, it helps with certain things like the numbers, the facts, even as John's conversation with David Bowie would have sounded like, jumping into that uncertainty and using it, as an ally. But there's something to be said about heart. There's something to be said about emotion, something to be said about human desire, lust, swinging hips. Don't worry, I won't actually swing my hips for everyone's sake.
I did in my chair here while you were talking.
You
so
can do it much better than me, Bonnie.
Thank you.
But I thought it was just so fitting from my experience with AI, in an educational setting. It certainly helps, like I said, with those data sheets, facts, textbook information, lecture prep. But there's something to be said about emotion, something to be said about heart, something to be said about human face-to-face connection that I think, at least for now, AI can't quite fully capture. So we're just, like I said, reaching the tip of the iceberg, but still, I think, a ways to go in dealing with kind of that human side of things.
And Eric, you also had a brief conversation with AI with Jolene talking about men falling for you. Want to give us that one too? I thought that was very interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, so what that one looked like was, long story short, was so this AI, and men, how does this work, or how does this, fit into dealing with these men that are trying to, sway and court me? Well, AI can certainly help with, the figures and the lines, the pickup, tones, etc. But AI, you can't get a date with me. You can't tell me what's in my heart. You can't tell me my desire. You can't tell me what I'm feeling. So very similar to, what Jolene's thoughts towards AI. Whereas yes, it can give you the pickup lines. Maybe it can help, fill in that rose or void, so to speak. But still, maybe missing a little bit on that human face-to-face, heart, emotion, lust, etc. So I thought that was quite humorous, and I just every time I was reading over these lines and transcripts, I still hear the song playing in the back of my head too. So that added a little humor there as well.
And the background to that, Bob, 1 second. Bob's ready with Rhiannon. The background to that is that Dolly Parton was newly married and she found out there was an attractive young redhead bank teller at the local bank who was doing a whole flirtation with the new husband, Dolly's husband. And she wrote the song about, don't you take my man. But it turns out there was a young redhead in the audience at one of the concerts Dolly did. And that woman's name, I believe, was Jolene. So that's where the name came from and the personification. But it was written about an event where it was like, Jolene, Jolene, don't you take my man. And that was a real, from Dolly's heart to her audience to this woman is keep your messy bank teller hands, get the money smudge off your goddamn fingers. Give me my money, give me my cash and leave my man alone. I'll take them both home in a bag. There you go. Okay. Thank you, Eric. That was motivating. Bob is ready with Rhiannon. Bob, why and how did you pick Rhiannon? I know you've got a long conversation with her. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I had a 1965 Ford Mustang.
He's still my heart. Wow. Okay.
So,
what color? What color? What color?
turquoise.
When I met my husband, I was at Sarah Lawrence College and he was at Yale. And we met at a mixer. And on our first date, he came to New York and took me out. And he was driving his sister's maroon was the color, I guess, the dark red 65 Mustang. His sister was up in New Hampshire at a girls' college, a women's college, excuse me. And he had borrowed her car and he took me in the Mustang. And we went to the opera. What can I tell you? Okay, Bob, you're up. Rhiannon time. Bail me out here. Go ahead.
So from an overview, what I thought was really interesting was I used Chat GPT, and that later I talked to Albert, and it absolutely assigned emotion to Rhiannon's responses and only facts to Albert's responses. So it kind of is almost like it knew, the difference, which is kind of strange, but it really locked into her emotions. She talks about the human connection, the music coming and the songs and the lyrics coming from human experience, the collaborations, the catharsis, and everything that goes into creating it. And she didn't see or really understand how AI could duplicate that. She does think that there's some promise with AI because, to her point, AI will be able to create new sounds that humans can't necessarily create with their musical instruments and all that. So she sees some benefit to it, but she doesn't think that songwriting itself and that whole putting of the human experience into a song and a melody and all that, she doesn't think that AI will be able to duplicate that for quite a while.
Can you read the first part of your conversation? If I were Rhiannon from Fleetwood Mac, pondering AI's influence on music, I'd love to hear the exact language ChatGPT gave you, Bob. Could you do that? You got it in front of you? Yeah, please read that. I think everybody will enjoy that. Go ahead.
She said, ultimately, as Rhiannon, I believe that the authenticity and historical context of creating music before AI, where each note and lyric is crafted through personal experience and human connection. However, I would also be curious about the opportunities presented by the AI era, recognizing its potential to complement and expand the creative horizons of artists.
Thank you very much. And the Albert you were referring to is upcoming when we talk about past inventors, and you're going to be talking about Albert Einstein. Okay, just wanted to clarify that. Bill, you are up next, and you picked a complicated song by Bob Dylan, Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts. I had never heard of it. I like Dylan, but I didn't know the song. And I worked with you to come up with some poems about it. I hope you like them. I'm passing off the privilege of reading the poems to Bill. So Bill, with that really wonderful hat, would you please tell us about those characters? Go ahead, Bill.
Absolutely. So, I mean, just a bit more backdrop to it. I mean, the song is literally 9 minutes long, and it is convoluted in its actions. And I mean, I've listened to it several times, and it's interesting when you ask people, what do you think the song is about? But yes, with your help and coming from Chat GPT, there is a poem, and I won't read the entire thing, but we'll give some context around it.
Okay.
In a town full of whispers and secrets untold, Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts took hold, each with a story, each with a role, their fates intertwined in a tale to unfold. Lily, a beauty with dreams in her eyes, she danced through the night under moonlit skies. With a heart full of passion and a spirit so free, she longed for adventure, for a life yet to be. Rosemary, a figure of grace and of sorrow, her love for Big Jim was built on borrowed tomorrow. Bound by duty, but her heart felt the strain, caught in a web of love and disdain. The Jack of Hearts, a rogue with a smile so sly, he breezed into town with a twinkle in his eye. In this tale spun by Dylan, each played their part. A saga of love, deception, and art. Lily, Rosemary, and the Jack of Hearts, forever enshrined in the storyteller's arts. So we go back, and that was from ChatGPT. We go back and we asked Gemini to give basically what would each character say would be different if it were implemented, and AI was present at the time. From Lily's perspective, given Lily's often portrayed innocence and vulnerability, she might see AI as a double-edged sword. If there was a machine to think for us, maybe it could find the Jack of Hearts quicker, but would it understand the ache of missing him? I think not. Sometimes the heart needs to feel, not calculate. From Rosemary's perspective, Rosemary, often positioned as more grounded and a practical character, might be more open to the idea of AI. A machine could help us understand what happened. It could look at all of the facts, all the angles, but would it feel the loss like we do? I don't think so. Some things are beyond numbers and data. And from the Jack of Hearts perspective, given the enigmatic and potentially sinister nature of the Jack of Hearts, his response would likely be more calculated. AI, a tool, just like any other. It could help me find what I'm looking for, or it could be a distraction. Depends on how it's used, doesn't it? But one thing's for sure, it couldn't replace the thrill of the chase.
Going back to Jolene, the thrill of the chase. Thank you. I enjoyed working with you on that, Bill. It was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. Good rock and roll characters. I have one more quickie, and then we're going to get into the inventors. I have asked. Dion had a song called "Run Around Sue" in 1961. Dion DiMucci, known as Dion. It was written by Dion and Ernie Maresca. It reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart about a girl who's not very faithful and breaks hearts. I think we've got a theme here, everyone. And the song warns guys to stay away from her. Well, Dion expressed regret. He thought he had done very bad things about this woman. Turns out Runaround Sue was partially inspired by his first wife, but she wasn't a runaround. He had to make that public disclaimer. So here is the quick poem about Runaround Sue, and then I'm going to do Grace Hopper, and we'll get into the inventors. Runaround Sue in a modern twist. AI's the game changer. She wouldn't resist. Once a heartbreaker, wild and free. Now she's tech savvy. Ooh, as savvy as can be. AI, my dear, what a curious trend. Helping me travel, choosing a boyfriend. No more running in circles, wasting my time. Algorithms picking my partners, sublime. I'm on the go with AI as my guide, planning my travels with data as my ride. From Paris to Tokyo, my journeys are smart. AI predicting thrills right from the start. AI, my lover, my digital friend. Its matchmaking prowess knows no end. No more heartbreaks, no more cries, just partners with cool vibes who make me sigh. I'll trade my dance shoes for gadgets galore, navigating life with AI at the core. I've got the world with a tap and a swipe. In this tech-driven era, I'm living the hype. And the epitaph is, so here's to Sue, now smarter, still bold. Her art and her travels are AI behold. In a world where tech shapes all that we do, Run Around Sue has found a future so new. What'd you all think? Pretty cool? Cool beans? Yeah, I had fun with that. I wanted to pick two for my part. I'm on the panel today, so you can all list me as a panelist. Some people forget that I'm the producer and they say, thank you to the panel, and they put me on the end, so I can be on the end today. So now let's talk about inventors. I wanted to know because I'm a early woman in tech, and I was coding in COBOL on a Xerox Sigma 6 CP5 mainframe and keep punching my code. Bill, I read about 2,000 lines of code on paper over the weekend, and then keep punch Monday morning and have my code running, my programs running in production by 1 o'clock on Monday afternoon, maybe one tiny syntax error. I was a crackerjack programmer and I loved it. So, Grace Hopper, pioneering computer scientist and U.S. Navy Rear Admiral, good for her. Born in New York City. I was born in Jamaica, Queens. Earned a PhD in math from Yale University in 1934. I wonder how many women did that. During World War II, she joined the Navy and was assigned to the Mark I computer project at Harvard. This woman got around. She's best known for her work on the development of the first compiler, which paved the way for modern programming languages. She played a crucial role in the creation of COBOL, a high-level language, programming language still used today. So here is ChatGPT spoke with Grace Hopper for me. Grace Hopper, the queen of code in a time when computers slowly glowed. I remember the big computer rooms. Would stand amazed today at AI's might, seeing machines think, act, and write. Her pioneering spirit, bold and bright, would grasp AI's potential, pure delight, from her days of COBOL binary streams to neural nets and intelligent dreams. And here's what Grace Hopper would actually say. Just a tool, she'd say, like those of yore. Yet with AI, we can do so much more. Enhance our minds, extend our reach, form complex data. Insights teach. I'd hack the code, tweak the algorithms, pushing boundaries, solving schisms. That rhymes. Debugging AI is no different, you see. It's finding bugs, just differently. I would envision AI in the fleet, optimizing routes, making missions complete. Let's ensure it's ethical, fair, and just. Bias in data, address it we must. I collaborate with AI, human and machine, to build a future bright and clean. I, Grace Hopper, with my foresight grand, would wield AI with a guiding hand. Innovation spark my endless quest. With AI, I'd continue to lead, inspiring the best. What'd you think? Pretty cool? Yeah, I really like that. That was ChatGPT, and that took again about 2 seconds to get back, and I loved it. That she's talking to my heart. No, I didn't invent COBOL. She did. Okay, John Maly, let's see where we're going with this. You're talking to Nikola Tesla. John, what was the conversation like? Go ahead.
All right. So Tesla would say, according to this, in the grand tapestry of human progress, where each thread is meticulously woven by the hands of invention and discovery, there emerges a new creation of profound significance, artificial intelligence. Just as the currents of electricity surge through the copper veins of our inventions, so too does AI pulse the lifeblood of our intellect and creativity. This marvel born of silicon and logic, and a testament to our boundless ingenuity. It is not merely a tool, but a reflection of the human spirit's unquenchable thirst for knowledge and mastery over the elements. Through it, we glimpse the very nature of consciousness, as if peering into a mirror that reveals not our visage, but the essence of our thoughts and dreams. AI, with its capacity to learn and adapt, stands as both guide and a guardian on our journey through the unknown. It augments our abilities, lifting the burdens of mundane tasks and freeing our minds to soar towards higher pursuits. Yet it also serves as a reminder of the delicate balance we must maintain, a balance between creator and creation, between harnessing the power and the wisdom to wield it. Thus, let us embrace this new frontier with the same fervor and caution that guided our ancestors. Let us be mindful stewards of this extraordinary gift, ensuring that it serves as a beacon of progress, a testament to our collective potential, and a harbinger of a future where the dreams of today become the realities of tomorrow.
I love it. Dreams of today, mindful. Where did Eric go? He blacked out on us. Eric, are you here? John, I love that. Thank you very much. Eric Myers, are you still with us? There you are. Okay, your picture dropped out for a second. Thank you, John. That was very interesting. Why did you pick Nikola Tesla? Why did you pick him?
I've always thought he was a really interesting inventor. I mean, first of all, he started from completely humble rural beginnings up in a mountain village in what I think is now Croatia. And the inventions he came up with were not just sort of cutting edge at the time, at the turn of the century, then that some of the things he envisioned, no one has really tried to implement just because they're on such a grand scale. So the fact that he just was such a futurist and thought that far out of the box and that far ahead, I think makes him just a really interesting study for someone like me who's a sci-fi author.
Very, very cool. And a lot of people today, young people, and I don't know what the age cliff is or that line, that Maginot line of here, Tesla, they think of the, you know what they think of. They probably don't. Did I do that okay, Bill? They probably don't even know that there was a person behind that name who may or may not be the namesake, but we won't get into that. That's a whole different conversation, not an AI conversation. Thank you, John. Eric Myers is talking to Carl with a K, Rapp, R-A-P-P, two P's, BMW inventor. I think he was a co-founder of a motorworks that preceded the naming of the company as BMW. I looked up my history. Eric, why did you pick him? And tell us what he would say today about AI. Eric, go ahead.
So main, I guess, reason and intention for wanting to pick Carl was just interest in BMW, interest in the process of how cars are made and just the science that goes behind, making, any type of vehicle, but especially, I guess, this one, and just wanting to know more about, how much of it is mechanical, how much of it is, the engineering components versus how much of it is more innovation from the heart, that entrepreneurial mindset, so to speak, and just trying to, get into the mind of seeing kind of what goes on behind the scenes. Now, what would the conversation look like with AI? Yes, the topic of artificial intelligence. Fascinating subject, to be sure. As an inventor, one of the inventors and founders of BMW, I must admit I have rather strong opinions on this matter. You see, I'm a firm believer in the power of human ingenuity and craftsmanship. The automobiles that bear the name BMW are a testament to the skill and dedication of our engineers, designers, and mechanics. They pour their very essence into each component, meticulously perfecting every detail. And therein lies my concern with the rapid advancements of AI technology. While I recognize its potential applications in certain ways, I fear it could ultimately diminish the human touch that is so integral to the BMW brand. Imagine a world where the cars we love are conceived and assembled entirely by soundless machines, where the intuitive handling, the visceral acceleration and synthetic engine node, all of it engineered by algorithms instead of human hands and human hearts. The essence of the driving experience could be lost. So that last line really stood out to me about the essence of the driving experience could be lost, because I was someone, for the longest time that used to think of cars as just get me from point A to point B. I don't need anything, crazy. I'm not into, the different features and, different components of any type of car. But now I see just any type of vehicle, but especially, I guess, one is a BMW or even Tesla as an art form. It's therapeutic in many different ways, experiencing nature, having the breeze, come in and cool you down, seeing so many different sights, safely, of course, but having conversations with people, in the vehicle. So it's really changed my perspective on vehicles and just seeing the art that goes behind it. And yes, AI can certainly help expedite production, can expedite, assembly lines and parts, etc. But there again is still something to be said about the art of driving, the art of car assembly, that at least as of July the 31st, 2024, AI hasn't maybe captured to its full magnitude yet. So it's really curious, or I'm really curious to see for all types of car brands where we're going to go into the future and how AI is going to assist with vehicle modifications, vehicle changes, and further innovations in that industry.
Thank you, Eric. I'm recalling that I drove over the years a series of Nissan Zs. I had the 280, I had the 300, I had the 350. John's nodding. I had the 370, lost that in a freak accident, and I shouldn't even really be here because I still don't understand how I wasn't demolished in the accident. And I was looking for a Z, couldn't find one, couldn't find. They are going so fast on the used car market. You see one online and it's already been bought before the picture is even added to the ad. And I drove up to a Chevy dealer in Durham, North Carolina, and I told them what I was looking for. And they said, "Oh, we've got a sister dealership down the road." And this young kid gets in a golf cart and drives, comes back, and he says, "I've got a Z4 for you. One driver, no smoking, low mileage." I said, "What?" He said, "I have a Z for you. Black convertible, leather seats, rag top, gorgeous, fully equipped, 2 years old." And I wrote him a check for $50,000. And he delivered the car the next day. The insurance money on my totaled Z, the other Z, paid for half of the Z4. So the net was I got to use the Z, the other Z, the 370 for free for 5 years until it was totaled in the accident, and it paid for half of the Z4. So now I have the Z4 and I'm appreciating it, Eric. There you go. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. And the front license plate is AKA Radio Red on a mirrored plate. And to me, cars are conversation starters. I cannot tell you how many men tried to buy my car from me, my Zs, over the years. Even at the entrance to the Midtown Tunnel in New York, they put down their window and say, "Hey, lady, you want to sell your car?" That's how popular. So to me, it's a question of meeting people. Yeah, I know. Even teenagers want to buy my cars. Let's leave that one alone. Let's go to, let's see, Albert Einstein. It's your time to glow in the sun here, Mr. Ficken. So give us about 5 minutes, and then we're going to wrap up with Bill, with Stokes. So go ahead. Bob, you're up.
I'm trying to figure out what Henry Ford would think of AI.
Okay. Give us a little bit of Einstein, just a tidbit here.
Well, Albert, in my beginning conversation with him, was not all that surprised at the extension of technology and all that is the AI that we understand today. He really wasn't that surprised. He saw that as kind of a normal course, of technology improvement and all that. He actually expressed some awe and admiration for what AI can do. But from a factual viewpoint, which is kind of his base, his scientific side, he had a lot of issues trusting AI. I asked him specifically, for example, how would you feel about AI testing your theories and all that? And he just wasn't quite sure that AI would be able to capture all the different nuances and all the different intricacies involved with that. He thought that it could do a lot of things really well, but he just wasn't ready to trust it completely. So he had definitely some positive things to say about it, but definitely concerned about the research and all that. He thought where it would be particularly effective would be like data analysis. He thought that AI would be fantastic with that, with simulations, with modeling, collaboration, communication, prediction, algorithmic reasoning. So he was quick to point out all the things that he thought AI could do better, but just not quite ready to turn the whole horse and buggy over to AI,
Very interesting. Somehow, so far, we're going to continue. Thank you, Bob. We're going to continue, but the theme that has appeared seems to be automotive on the show today for some reason. I started out with Mustang Sally, and we had a BMW conversation with Carl Rapp, and I think some of the other characters were somewhere in cars. And now let's go to Bill's conversation with Richard Bowie Spikes. I said his name wrong before. 1878 to 1965. He was almost blind then. He invented and patented an automatic safety braking system for buses and trucks in 1962. Helped to prevent accidents by automatically stopping the vehicle if it sensed an obstacle ahead. It was adopted by school buses across the U.S., making them safer. He held several other patents in his lifetime, including for improved beer tap. I think his father owned a bar. His father owned a tavern, and he worked on him with that. Automatic gear shift device, and directional signals for vehicles. So what's your conversation in Gemini, Bill, with Mr. Spikes? Go ahead, Bill.
So I asked Richard, what do you think about AI and the impact on designs and innovation today? And the response coming from Gemini was, for him was, AI is an extraordinary tool, a catalyst for unprecedented innovation. it's reshaping the design landscape in ways we could scarcely imagine a decade ago. The ability to process vast data sets, identify patterns, and generate novel solutions is truly transformative. Looking back at the development of the automatic safety brake, I can see how AI could have significantly accelerated and enhanced the process. Imagine having AI to analyze countless accident scenarios, identifying common factors and potential solutions with unparalleled speed and accuracy. It could have optimized brake response times, improved sensor sensitivity, and even predicted potential failure points. However, it's crucial to remember that AI is a tool, not a replacement for human ingenuity. Design is inherently human-centric, and empathy, intuition, and cultural understanding remain irreplaceable. AI can augment these qualities, but it cannot supplant them. The challenges lie in harnessing AI's potential while preserving the sense of human-centered design. We must focus on ethical considerations, ensuring AI is used to enhance, not replace, human creativity. The future of design will be a symbiotic relationship between human and machine, where AI serves as a powerful collaborator. What resonated there with me was the way that it kind of tied, processing vast data sets, identifying patterns, and generating novel solutions as being transformative. We're still in an age of digital transformation, so everything kind of rang harmoniously for me, looking at that, especially given that we build digital twins for traffic, and I couldn't agree more with the end result.
Very interesting. I love the car theme that went through. If I invited you, which I will, and we'll get Sherry Meyer back, we can do 6 on the panel. It'll just be a little shorter for each. What would we like to talk about for getting AI to hallucinate with what categories? We've done sidekicks, right? We've done rock and roll names. We've done inventors. We've done people in the arts. We've done scientists. Anybody have any ideas on what category we would like to hallucinate? I'm thinking of late October, early November coming back. What do you think? Anything come to mind? You want to think about it? I think
What
we'll
does
stay away
AI
from.
think about the universe?
Oh, that's a
Space
big one.
exploration.
That's a big one. How about what does AI think about astrology, astronomy, cosmology, bugs? I don't know. We'll get a collection of ologies and I'll give you all your choice. Would you like to come back and do that? What do you think?
Sure.
Is that
Sure.
fun? I do have a quick update on AI giving weather forecasters an edge. I just have a couple minutes to read this. The brainy machines, we're talking about AI, are predicting global weather patterns with new speed and precision, doing in minutes and seconds what once took hours. Here we go. In early July, Hurricane Beryl churned through the Caribbean. A top European weather agency predicted a range of final landfalls, warning that Mexico is most likely. The alert was based on global observations by planes, by buoys, and spacecraft, which room-sized computers, whoa, I remember the mainframes, I was there, turned into forecasts. That day, experts running AI software on smaller computers predicted landfall not in Mexico, but Texas. The forecast used what the machine had previously learned about the planet's atmosphere. 4 days later, on July 8th, Hurricane Beryl slammed into Texas with deadly force. The Texas prediction offers a glimpse into the emerging world of AI weather forecasting, in which a growing number of smart machines are anticipating future global weather patterns with new speed and new accuracy. In this case, the program was experimental, called GraphCast. GRAPH, capital CAST, one word, created in London by a Google company called DeepMind, capital D, capital M. It does in minutes and seconds, which once took hours. So pretty cool beans, right? So maybe we'll do something on practical uses of AI, having conversations about what if, I don't know. Anyway, we've got 2 more minutes. Anybody have a wrap up you want to talk about? Anything on your mind? 2 minutes. I've got 2 minutes left. Anybody have a wrap up on a conversation? Bob, did you enjoy talking to Albert Einstein?
I did. Kind of a fascinating character. He has no ego. At least
Oh,
according to ChatGPT, no ego at all.
interesting.
Everything's just about moving forward and more knowledge and, improving and, building
There
all
you
that,
go.
espousing theories.
Eric, if you were at a bank and Jolene was a teller, would you have been going to her line every time you went there?
Well, as someone who used to work in a bank, that's where I got my, I guess, career started. I got a real fascination out of the context that you were providing me as to the origin of the song and kind of went up what went on behind the scenes and just the various branches that I've either worked in or gone into as a customer. You certainly know which lines have a longer wait time than others, so to speak. So that was
There,
very humorous.
interesting. And Bill, which character would you be drawn to, Lily or Rosemary?
Rosemary for sure.
Okay. Okay. John, anything about what you said? I'll give you 30 seconds, 15 seconds here. Anything about your characters?
I like that they capture AI's own sort of implanted self-consciousness that we've given it, where it has doubts about whether it can effectively work with humans
There you
without
go.
destroying them.
There you go. Okay. I want you all to raise your hand. We've got 30 seconds. On the count of three, you're going to join me and say, no, no, no. This is not a wave. This is a no, no, no. People say the future is already here. And our answer is 1, 2, 3. No,
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 no.
no.
You could do better, but we don't have time. That's because that was yesterday's future. That was the future when I said the sentence, which was a nanosecond ago. And now it's in the past. Let's all do our best to make it a better one. Bonnie D, rock and roll drummer, check, signing off. I should have said, no, 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 no. I'm not hitting you with the sticks, Bob. Don't worry. I will see you next week right here. I think we're doing urbanization and AI. We'll see you and check on LinkedIn and see what my promos are. Everybody wave goodbye. And thank you to our engineer, Michael. Michael, are we out?
We are out.